AITA for crashing my roommate's car, and then wanting to use her insurance instead of paying out of pocket? I rear-ended my roommate's car last week at a stop sign last week. It was a pretty minor accident. I was going about 10 miles an hour, and it was just a slight bump. Anyways, we got it checked out and there's $2,000 worth of damages to fix her car, and $1,000 for the guy the first hit. I wanted to use my full coverage insurance, but they wouldn't let me as I got into the crash with a car that was not mine. I proposed to my roommate that we use her full coverage insurance, as that's what insurance is for, and she pays about $400 a month for it, and I'll cover all premium costs of the insurance as well as the $500 copay requirement. My roommate doesn't agree to this deal. She proposed two things. We use her insurance, I pay the premium cost, the copay requirement, and the value of how much her car went down in the market because using her insurance will show up in the Carfax when she sells it. I asked her how will we know how much the car value depreciated, and she said when she sells the car next year, she'll ask the dealer how much her car value decreased due to the accident. I can't agree to this arrangement for a couple reasons. Firstly, I don't trust the dealer. Wouldn't they just exaggerate the amount the car value went down to get the car for cheaper? And secondly, as I can't play any role in talking to the dealer or selling the car, I'm essentially signing a blank check to pay however much the dealer deems the car went down next year. This is too risky. What if she insists it's like $5,000 next year? I'll have already agreed to pay the decreased car value for using her insurance. I also talked to my parents and they said that car values don't depreciate for getting into minor accidents like this one, just major ones, especially if the car is 100% fixed up. But there's nothing I can say to convince her that using her insurance won't lead to a substantial decrease in value of her car due to the accident being recorded in the Carfax. 2. The second option, if I don't agree to this deal, is to pay for everything out of pocket and not get her insurance involved. This would be like almost an entire month's salary for me. It's insanely expensive, and I don't want to pay out of pocket when my roommate pays $400 a month for insurance. In my opinion, insurance is exactly for moments like this, and I'm really sorry that I can't use mine, but I'm willing to pay the premium on hers. Her argument is that I have the audacity to argue with her when I crashed her car, and I should be apologetic and agree to handle things the way she wants to handle it. Anyways, AITA for refusing to either of her two options, and continually trying to negotiate for using her insurance without the car value decrease stipulations? I mean, I don't think a reality TV show where the plaintiffs don't need to pay damages. The show covers whatever the judgment is, and it's not even really legally binding. IRRC can be used as a basis for what a court will decide. A court will decide she needs to pay the deductible. Because I guess you don't need to use the insurance, but you still need to report it, legally, and your rates would go up regardless of if you use it or don't, so you'd be better off using it once you're actually getting legalities involved. A judge isn't going to give a shit about this girl's depreciated value on her used car at some point in the future. They're not ordering OP to pay any more than the roommate's damages are, which is ultimately going to be the deductible, unless she's going to pay for everything herself out of pocket and then try to sue OP in small claims court, and even then, she's only going to get exactly what OP is offering. Judges don't order future damages, they order what you can prove you've already suffered. I agree about future depreciation. I think that part is irrelevant and not reasonable. I'm not sure what you mean by report it. People have minor accidents and decide to leave their insurance companies out of it all the time. I'm not sure why that would be illegal. I understand you have experience with paralegal work, but I'm not sure I agree that a court will decide the deductible is all that's required. I get that I don't have experience, but that doesn't really make logical sense. Someone crashes my car and skates out of it only having to pay $500, presuming that's the deductible, and sticking me with the increased premiums? That's not making me whole, which is what should happen. Paying the deductible and increased premiums for 5 years would have to be more expensive than just paying the damages out of pocket.